All right, Terence Crawford is here, the welterweight champion of the world. He is, I assume, just relaxing in Omaha right now as you deal with this quarantine life. What's quarantine life like for you, Terence?
Man, it really ain't no different than any other day. You know, I really don't do too much of nothing, but at the same time, I ain't locked up in the house either.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm good.
As you kind of look towards your boxing career, you were scheduled to fight, or at least penciled in to fight sometime in June, July. When you talk to your management team and to Top Rank, what are they telling you now?
I don't talk to them about it. We ain't had one conversation about it. You know, when the world picks back up and gets back to this normalcy, then we gonna do our thing.
So you don't
chilling right now, and I'm enjoying the time with my family, and you know, just the time at home to lay back and chill.
Are you anxious at all to get back into the mix?
No, I'm not. Like, I'm not anxious. I'm ready, but I'm not anxious because I know everything happens in time. So the right time will come, and I'll be ready. I got everything in the gym. You know, treadmill, bikes, Stairmasters, Jacob ladders. You know, all whatever you need, I got it. So I don't need.
So are you able to go, like, do you go still train like every day? I mean, how does your work day go?
Yeah, I train every day. I just left the gym not too long ago, probably like an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
how close would you say you are to being like kind of in fighting shape? Like, if you got a call for 6 weeks from now, would you be able to do it?
6 weeks, yeah, I'll be able to fight 6 weeks. You know, I'm not saying that I'm like in boxing shape because I'm actually not, you know, sparring or doing anything like that. But give it 6 weeks, I most likely be ready. Yeah.
You're one of those big stars, Terence, where when you fight, you draw pretty big crowds that are out there. There's a lot of talk in boxing about how when boxing eventually comes back, it'll first come back with fights behind closed doors with no crowds. How do you feel about that? If that was brought to you, we can do a fight for you, but there would be no crowd there. How would you react to that?
Well, I haven't heard of that yet. But at the same time, if it was to happen, then they have to pay me more. You know, they have to pay me more because fighters of my status and on my level, we get paid for the people that's coming there as well. So, you know, if I can't get paid off of people coming, then I'm gonna have to get paid up front.
Well, if they couldn't pay you, or if they couldn't pay you more, would you be comfortable sitting out for as long as it takes to get people back in these buildings?
For sure. For sure. You know, you gotta pay me, you know, to go up there and, you know, do what I do because it ain't free. Just like people gotta pay, you know, to do anything else in the world. You know, you gotta pay us fighters because, you know, we taking a big risk in health risk at the same time. You know, you can't play boxing, you know, one false move and you can be 6 feet.
Would you be willing to sit out the entire year if it meant they couldn't do fans and stands?
Well, that's like I said, that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. You know, I know, you know, us fighters, we don't want to do that, but if that's what it came to, then, you know, like I said, it had to happen. It had to happen.
Errol Spence did an interview recently, and one of the things I thought was interesting is that he said that you guys talk, you know, whether it's via text message or communication. I mean, how often do you guys talk to each other?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't say we talk like that, but I hit him up a couple of times, and you know, we got on the FaceTime and spoke briefly.
What was that conversation like?
Nothing. It was just, you know, us talking about making a fight. That was pretty much it. And I told him I was gonna fuck him up.
I mean, he says kind of the same thing about you. Is that just talk, or is that? I mean, how real is that?
It's real, you know what I mean? Like, I truly feel like when we fight, I'm gonna fuck him up, you know, and he feel the same way. So that's why, you know, it makes for a great fight. You got the top welterweights in the division telling the media that they're gonna fuck each one up, you know. So let's see who's telling the truth at the end of the day.
The last time you and I spoke, Terence, one of the things you said was that, look, Top Rank and PBC and Fox and ESPN are working together. So if they can work together for Fury versus Wilder, why can't they work together for us? The Fury Wilder fight did well, but probably it didn't reach that kind of 2 million number that Bob Arum was looking for, and the big number. Do you think that, knowing what the Fury Wilder fight did, do you think that did enough to make it still likely that we can get those two groups together?
Well, you got to think the two biggest fights in the boxing, like in boxing right now, before AJ got the loss, was Deontay Wilder against Anthony Joshua, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Them was the two biggest fights to be made, and not taking anything away from Wilder and Fury. It's just that, I feel like Spence Crawford was a way bigger fight than Fury Wilder. That's just in my opinion. And
why?
Because he sat in front of me before, before the fight. During the fight, he hit my seat was right behind cattle quarter, right behind him, and his fight was in front of me, and I had tapped him. You know what I mean? Turned around, like, see? Like, I just, let him know, like, this is going to be us, you know what I mean? And, he was just like, man, I'm gonna wash you. I was like, yeah, you got to get in the ring to do that first. You know what I mean? So, it was just a little, jokes between us two.
What'd you think of Fury Wilder?
Oh, Fury put on a clinic, And like I said, if Fury knock out Wilder, then it'll be a surprise. Same way Wilder winning the decision, it'll be a surprise. But I told everybody, but the main factor in that fight was Fury took Wilder's punch and got up. So I felt like Fury had the edge in the fight because he's felt Wilder punching power before. He took it, and he got up and won that round in my eyes. Now, we all know Fury can box. He can outbox him and do his thing. He got more skills and whatnot than Wilder, but nobody's seen, Fury going in there and putting pressure on Wilder. So he had an excellent game plan and he executed it, and you seen the results.
Were you surprised he took the fight to Wilder like that, going right at him? I mean, he said all along, that's how I'm going to fight.
No, I wasn't surprised because given that he put on that extra weight, I was like, oh yeah, he's for real. He's preparing his body to take whatever punishment, is gonna be up against come fight night. And and he did what he said he was gonna do.
Do you think a third fight between those two guys will go any different?
Man, it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, it's gonna go different, but at this point in time right now, Fury is so confident in his ability and his chin, his skills, and I don't see Wilder changing up too much of anything in this short period of time. It takes years to get rid of bad habits. So I don't know how. I don't see it changing anything because in my eyes, Tyson Fury was winning the first fight.
The fight with you and Spence is, as you said, massive whenever that happens. When you guys kind of talk to each other, do you put dates on it? Do you start saying like, all right, let's do this on February 2021? I mean, do you throw dates out there?
Nah. It's just when it happens, it happens,
I mean, no, I don't know. Everybody wants that
Well,
fight to happen.
it's like we can't put no dates on anything. You know, we got to go to the networks and all that. You got to go to your handlers. He's with Al Heyman. I'm with Bob Brown and Top Rank, and you know they gonna sit at the table, and we gonna have to talk sooner or later.
Do you get the sense from talking to him that, like, you know, obviously he wants a comeback fight, but after that, does he want you?
I told him. He said he's going right into a fight with Danny Garcia or Pacquiao or me, or I told him, like, me personally, like, don't come back trying to fight me because that ain't the fight that, you know, you really want on your first fight to come back. Like, you know, I wouldn't even take that fight given if it was offered to me. I wouldn't take it because it's a lose-lose situation for me. You know, if, you know, something was to happen and I knocked him out or I beat him up bad, and they will say, oh, well, he's not the same Errol Spence. He's coming off a car accident, this and that and this. And then that would never end for my whole career. You know, even after my career, everybody would be talking about how I fought Errol Spence after he got the car accident, and I didn't want to fight him before the car accident. That would be the story of the line. So I just want to see him back to the old Errol Spence that he used to be, and then, you know, me and him gonna fight.
So you're probably right. I mean, him needed to get back in the ring first and beat somebody, you know, that would take any doubt away from a fight with you, what it would mean. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go. But if he does that, Terence, what do you do in the interim? And do you have an idea in mind of what you want to do, who you want to fight, what weight you want to fight at?
Well, you know, my manager and my coaches, you know, they threw out a lot of options for me. You know, so we got Kell Brook. We got that fight if we want. We got a few options that we can go to.
Do any one of those excite you more than the other? Do anyone get your blood flowing more than the other?
Not really. You know, like I said, it's a fight. My blood always gonna be boiling. You know, that's just the competitive nature in myself. But yeah, you gotta fight what's in front of you. You know, I never look over any opponent or any fighter. So in my eyes, if that fight or any one of those fights was presented and made, then that would just be the fight that I have in front of me.
Do you always even keeled then? Like, even like your unification fights at 140, I mean, are you always the same way going into fights? Do you ever get, you know, picked up more for other ones?
Yeah, of course you're gonna get picked up for more. Like my undisputed fight, I was like on like 20, you know, but my Victor Postal, I was on 20, you know, but like my Felix Diaz and John Molina, I was just like on like 12, 10, you know, but at the same time, I try to train harder in my present camp than my last camp. So, you know, that take away everything.
All right. Well, Terence, I appreciate it, man. Stay healthy out there, and hopefully we get you back in the ring real soon against Errol Spence. We all need that fight, Terence. We all need that fight.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thanks.